A very warm welcome and thanks for stopping by. This is a video, some old footage of what is possibly one of the loveliest sights, if you're a photographer, you can ever possibly experience. It's me taking receipt of or unboxing the black Leica MP. A really beautiful camera. I didn't upload it for whatever reason. I can't remember now. It's back in 2015, I think. But here it is, the black. And I was going to do you a show and tell and give you my thoughts on this black one, and then the following day a chrome one that arrived. I bought two at the same time from the same place, actually. I don't know why they arrived on different days, but here it is in all of its glory. This is the black, which is a very glossy black paint, and to my eye anyway, just one of the prettiest cameras you'll ever lay eyes on. Absolutely gorgeous. It blew me away. You know, I was so excited, really. You know, a sort of real emotional response to it, really. Sounds a bit odd, I know, but hey, really beautiful. I'm going to cut some footage of me opening the chrome now, and hopefully you'll be able to see for yourself which you prefer. I'd almost forgotten that I ordered this subsequently, which is probably what held up the chrome camera arriving. Just this rewind aid thing. Didn't keep this for very long because I didn't like it. I thought you needed it, but yeah, you've probably seen one before. There are other party ones available as well. These are not made by Leica anymore. They've become very difficult to get your hands on, and therefore, like anything Leica, extremely expensive. People asking for all sorts of crazy prices. But perhaps more importantly, on with the good stuff. The chrome MP. Again, one of the, if not the most wonderful things that will ever adorn your eyes sight. It's you know, anyone that has watched any of my footage knows that the MP is my all-time favourite camera. Here it is in all of its glory. Now, I mentioned I purchased the black one, and in actual fact I then sold it 2 weeks later. Now, I didn't intend buying both to then flip one or decide which one. I actually wanted both initially. However, the black one just was not what I was expecting at all. What do I mean by that? In essence, it is a beautiful camera straight out of the box, without any doubt. Absolutely amazing. I think in sort of immediate terms, it's possibly more striking than the chrome. Although, you know, I think both are absolutely stunning. But straight, you know, immediately the black one looks amazing, and yeah, I was really taken by it. However, two things about the black, and I'm only really sort of saying this to flag it up to you, in case really you're in the market or you're thinking about maybe getting one at some point. The the black, difficult to describe it exactly, but it does more than show fingerprints. It almost looks as though you've eaten a bag of chips or fries or something, a greasy, foody substance of some description, and then sort of smeared it all over the camera. It's as though your fingerprints, just normal fingerprints with clean hands, interacts with a substance on the paint itself and leaves this sort of really unpleasant, greasy fingerprint or fingerprints all over the paint. So you know, fingerprints I don't mind in general terms. They don't bother me one bit. I don't even notice them. But boy, you notice them on this black Leica. Just unbelievable. You know, I've tried to show you here. I've had to sort of play with the light a little bit to try and show you just how greasy it looks. And then the other thing was that I noticed that, look, I knew all too well about the brassing thing. And to be honest, that seemed like a, perfectly okay thing to me at the time. However, I noticed that the paint was starting to come off on this, certainly on, I put about 6 films through it, something like that, half dozen films. And on this knurl knob where you rewind the film, and on the wind-on crank. So areas that were getting touched and used most, the brass was starting to come through. Admittedly, not hugely, it wasn't like the paint was flaking off or anything, but it was showing through after 2 weeks. And I kind of thought, it just scared the life out of me, really. I thought, yeah, even if it had started after 2 months, that would have been very, very alarming to me. 2 years, fine. But 2 weeks? I thought I want it looking good and black for quite some time to come. I don't want it happening after 2 weeks. I just decided that the paint was far, far too soft, and was going to sort of look old before its time, in a way. I thought, if it's like this after 2 weeks, what's it going to be like in a year? So yeah, I just got rid. I mean, there's no big deal. I actually made some money on it because they were quite rare at the time. Like I do this for some reason, they kind of slow the production down, and then they're more difficult to get hold of. I managed to get 2, one in each colour, but that was probably just a stroke of luck more than anything else. And then very quickly just decided on this, the chrome, and just kept the one camera. Like I said, at the time, I really did like both. And had it not started to brass on me, I'd still have both of them today. But yeah, it was, it was just a very concerning thing. 2 weeks, that is very, very soft paint. And I don't know, it just freaked me out a little bit. I mean, if you love brassing and you want it to do that quickly, then if you're in a hurry for it to brass, then there's no problem at all. I didn't mind, as I say, the idea of it brassing, but over a substantial amount of time, not start the process in 2 weeks' time. That was just Anyway, both are beautiful cameras. The black is stunning, but just beware how greasy it looks, number one, and how quickly that paint brasses. This is back in 2015, so I don't know if they've changed the paint and it's it brasses slower now. I don't know. It looks exactly the same to me. The MA is done in black, but it's their chrome black, it's called, just to confuse things. It's a different kind of black paint. It's not as glossy, and it does wear much, much better. And the MA is exactly the same as the MP, apart from it not having a light meter. I quite like light meters on my cameras. I don't rely on them, or it's not a deal breaker, but if I've got a choice, I'd much rather have one, I guess. There are just times when it's really useful to have. But yeah, I just thought I'd kind of flag these up and show you the difference, really. The chrome, I just think, is classic and beautiful. If I had to decide between the two, other than the fact that I quickly didn't like the black, I would have, because of the brassing and it looking very greasy and what have you. I'd find it really difficult to say which I preferred. As it happens, the decision was made for me, really. If it had been glossy black paint and it didn't start brassing until much later, then I would have, as I say, I would have kept them both, because I do think the black paint does look fantastic, without any shadow of a doubt. Absolutely gorgeous. But hey, that was a deal breaker for me. It might not be for you, but it was for me. And this chrome is, as you can see, every bit as beautiful. Maybe just a little bit more. Well, I don't know what the word is. It's sort of. I guess classic comes to mind. The black is obviously classic as well, but you know what I mean. I think most cameras probably were chrome to begin with, so it harps back to that time. Certainly the threes and the twos. I mean, they did make black versions, but only in very small quantities. It wasn't really a thing back then. And so I love it for that reason. And I think, I don't regret getting rid of it at all. I was very pleased to see it go, even though I was sorry on one level that it just was the way it was. It just looked greasy and it brassed very quickly. So I didn't miss it at all, but I do wish it was hardened paint. Sort of resistant to brassing, and just did it over a much longer time period, I suppose, because it is a beautiful looking camera. I think most people like it. I'm just not convinced that everybody's aware quite how quickly it starts to brass and just how grubby it looks. I'm not talking about like using it for a day. Just touch it once and you'll see what I mean. It's like, it just looks filthy. Having held it for 30 seconds, it just looks absolutely covered in grime. I don't know what that's about. Really, really bizarre. And I hadn't just eaten a bag of fries, by the way, just so you know. I hadn't. Obviously, I wouldn't have done that with a new camera. But hey, there you go. You live and learn. I just thought that might be sort of, I don't know, helpful. Like I say, they may have changed the compound or the chemicals in the paint. I honestly couldn't tell you, but just beware. If you like brassing and you want it to go quickly, then I don't think you'll have an issue, other than maybe the grubby aspect. Anyway, thanks for stopping by, and see you for the next one.